Hi, Hare Krishna, guys. How are
Hare
you?
Krishna.
Hare
Haribol.
Krishna.
Good.
Here we are once again with the Krishnacore podcast with Mike Dines and me. And today we have a special guest from Serbia. His name is Miloš, who
Nice
is
to meet you,
playing.
everybody.
Hare
He's a
Krishna.
band called Neven. Neven.
Yes,
This
that's how it's
very
pronounced.
yeah,
That's exactly how it's pronounced.
yeah, great. How are you? Everything okay?
Yes, of course. Yes, it's not too late, so I'm still wake,
Yeah,
but
yeah. What time is
awake.
that?
Uh,
What time
It's
is
10
it?
p.m. The same as
Same as
there.
in
uh,
Czech Republic. Yeah, perfect. Mike, how are you?
I'm good. It's only 9 o'clock here, so Sunday
Yeah.
night. So give it after this, and due to my age, I'll probably be going to bed straight afterwards, with a nice big cup of cocoa. But yeah, good.
So, Mike, you start with the first question.
Could you kind of just introduce yourself? I know that you guys are based in Serbia, in Belgrade. Is that right? So could you just
Yes.
introduce yourself, introduce the rest of the band, and perhaps also, I've been trying to find out what Neven means, and I think I know what it means, but could you please tell us what it
What do
means?
you think? What do you think?
I think it means a flower. It
Yes,
means everlasting flower.
yes. I don't I actually know the exact name of flower in English, but
Hmm.
it's the orange flower.
Yeah.
I made up the name because of a few reasons. So I wanted it to be positive and not too complicated, so that everybody can understand. And because here in Belgrade, we don't have a big positive scene or big. I mean, the hardcore singing is rising now, and there are a lot of kids, but not everybody who listens to punk here knows about positive hardcore. So that was the first idea. And there is a show called Neven here in Serbia. There was actually. It's an old show for kids, which I really like. So maybe actually you won't understand it because I don't know if there is the translated version,
Yeah. Okay.
but it's interesting. So that was the other inspiration for the name, and we couldn't come up with the better one for a long time. So that's which one we chose actually. So that's about the name, and I didn't want it to be anything directly referring to Krishna consciousness or straight edge, because we wanted it to be more. I wanted it to be more open for everybody, and for my band. And if there are any new members, and members are always changing because not much people are playing in bands here in Serbia, young people. So I wanted it to be open for everybody.
Right.
That's
That's about the name.
that's really interesting
Mhm.
because I'm just looking at your track listing now, for
Mhm.
your demo, which is absolutely fantastic, and it's got you down as singer and
Mhm.
also harmonium. So
Mhm.
there is that Krishna kind of Krishnacore aesthetic. So the first track, I Am Not Alone, you've got that intro, and I think it's the Pancha Tattva
Mhm.
bhajan that
Yes. Yes.
you are playing. So there is that element, and your lyrics do to touch on the Paramatma, and Govinda is mentioned. But did you want to sort of keep away a little bit from that kind of Shelter 108 kind of aesthetic?
I want to bring it as much as it can be understood by others, and as much as that it can improve the music, and that I feel like it's my music again. But I just don't want for music to sound too preachy
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
too concerned with rules, because of that. I want to people to get attracted to the idea, not pushed away.
Hmm.
So it's a
As,
mixture.
yeah, we've interviewed the last two guys that we've interviewed have both been from contemporary Krishnacore bands. Not
Mhm.
that kind of standard is a kind of Krishnacore band, so to speak, and
Mhm.
and Krishna Das from invocation and Satya Bratadas both said that they didn't want it to be too preachy, too proselytizing, as kind of converting people through that music. So that's really interesting. Thank you.
Yes. I mean, I have a more practical way to look on Krishna consciousness, and all of the songs are actually involved in practically living in Krishna consciousness. I mean, the basics of it, at least, with love and with cleanness of soul and with cleanness of life and with positive attitude. So I think all of that is involved in Krishna consciousness, and it doesn't have everything doesn't have to be so esoteric. If you know, if you understand what I mean.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you.
Exactly. Next question, Mike. Next question. How do you get in contact with Krishna consciousness?
Okay, so I don't know if I should start from the beginning with the context of straight edge or only Krishna consciousness.
You can be like as long as you want.
Okay, because I had the contact with straight edge really early on in my life when I was really young, and after a long time I got in touch with Krishna consciousness. But actually, I started listening to hardcore in primary school. Exactly, the Gorilla Biscuits.
So
I was
in primary school.
I was a 9-year-old because my stepfather played the drums in one of the bigger hardcore bands in Serbia. It was the straight edge band, but it was a bigger hardcore band. So he played it to me, and I really liked it. I listened to a lot of punk, melodic punk, hardcore bands, but Gorilla Biscuits were first for me. And I actually never got in touch with non straight edge lifestyle, since when everybody was starting to experiment with drinking, I was already into straight edge. So yes, I was straight edge from when I was born. And I got into vegetarianism really early, in actually at the end of primary school too, when I was about 14 or so. So yes, and that was of course was involved with the straight edge bands and hardcore bands. So I was listening to Gorilla Biscuits and Youth of Today a lot when I was younger, and the other straight edge bands. But when at some point I knew already about the term Krishna consciousness or Krishnacore, but I didn't know what it's about, and I didn't even know about shelter at that time. I never heard about, I don't know how, but I didn't know even that shelter and Youth of the Day were involved and everything. So after it was just on my mind someday. I don't know why. I don't have, in my family, I don't have any connections with Krishna consciousness or with religion. Actually, everybody in my family is atheist, most of my relatives. So then when I heard about, when I wanted to search for it, I started reading Bhagavad Gita and listen to Shelter simultaneously, if that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
So then I was caught in it very soon, because I think my mind was there but not there. If you know what I mean. It was really easy for me to understand it and to see that's the part that was missing. That's the part that would make anything more of a life than a music. And that's how I got into it, actually.
That is great. That's such a story.
I mean, it's nothing special, but I don't know. It was just I never was in any like life crisis like all the other guys that I seen interviews. No, not on your channel, but generally who are in straight edge or Krishna consciousness. It was really spontaneous. I don't know.
Can you remember the first time that you came across Krishna consciousness?
Yes, I was with my girlfriend, my friends. We were at the sea in Montenegro, so it was just came to my mind that I should look it up. I looked it up on Google. I looked Bhagavad Gita up, downloaded it, started listening to Shelter, and very soon I was getting involved with finding bhakts and talking to them and playing kirtans and everything.
Right.
So it all happened very fast.
Because anyway, Serbia has like in the 90s there were some bands, you know, Murari
Yes,
Murari
I know him
Chetanya,
personally. Yes,
yes.
yes.
He has bands like Strike for More and
Austerity.
yeah, Austerity
Yes.
also. It's really good bands, and there was also this band called it Stonewall. Stonewall.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, yeah. They had a song. It's called "Wake Up," and basically, they has a lot of influence of Krishna consciousness, and it mentions Sravana, Kirtan, Vishnu, Smarana, like the different process of bhakti, and well, that's great. I will
Wait,
send it to you. I will
is
send
that
it
a
to you
Serbian
later.
band?
So yeah, it's a Serbian band.
Great. I didn't
Yeah.
know about it.
I will send it to
You
you.
should tell me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
Right. So do you get some connection to them or not
To
really?
First Flame?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Strike for More or
Oh, sorry. Yes,
that.
his first band was Strive for
Yeah,
More,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
he
yeah,
made First Flame
yeah, yeah.
and Still Bleeding. So
The bleeding.
I actually he contacted me with Bakts here. We live in two different cities, but Serbia is
Yeah.
small, so we are near, and we met each other at concerts even before before I know about Krishna consciousness. But he connected me with Bakts. We're not into hardcore, but are from Belgrade, and we do not spend too much time together because we all have our I don't know how to say. We all have our work to do. But
Responsibility.
yes, 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 yes,
Duties.
duties, yes. But we are in contact, and we always talk about each other's music and Krishna consciousness, and we send each other links. So we are in contact, but are not very close.
Oh, right.
That's about it. Yes.
I think you've kind of answered my next question. And that is really, did you believe in God before, becoming a Hare Krishna? Did you come from, you said that you didn't come from a religious background. Did you believe in a God or believe in kind of the notion of spirituality?
Yes, you know the question to that answer. You're right. No, and it was I was actually I mean I think still a part of me is revolutionary, but I was a kind of a communist before, and I made some communist music, rap music, and a lot of music I actually made. But I don't know how to explain it. I think even religious people or non-religious people or believers, non-believers, I think it's a bit of a specter in terms that I still learn how to believe in God, and I actually think that believing in God is a much higher stadium than actually believing in God and completely being involved with God and thinking about God is a so high stadium that even now when I'm changed, I'm still I still trying to get away from atheism and material thinking.
Yeah. It's a process. It's not like I believe in God. Like
Yes,
it's a
exactly,
process. Like there is
exactly.
I don't want to talk too much, but there is a history of in the book of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, one of introductory book, and this is basically the history of one um, king. He wanted to know if someone can show God to him. Can you show me God? So he called it the first minister, and he said, I have a question. Can you show me God? And the first prime minister was like, I can't, but I will give you 5 days to give me the answer. And he was looking for so many books at home and so many places that I can't find the questions. But his son was in one corner and he saw his father, like he was like a bit worried. And what's the problem? He said, what's the problem? He said, the king told me he made a question and he wanted me to show him God, you know, like. And the son say, don't worry, don't worry. I will give the answer to him. So it came the time. So it was the king, it was the prime minister, the son, the guest, and and then the king say, okay, show me. Can you show me God? What he's doing? Who is God? And the prime minister say, the answer is so easy. My son will give you the answer. And he say, and the king say, okay, tell me, can you show me God? And the little kid say, yeah, but you are making questions like, I'm the guru and you are the student. By this reason, I should be in the throne and you should be here. So then the king came down, and the kid went to the sit on the throne, and then the kid say, "Okay, this is what God is doing. According to our actions, He put in different positions and different identities and different covers in this material world. So by this reason, we get by action and reaction, we get this karma. So this is what God is doing." And so then he say, "But how can you show me God?" So he say, "Bring me a pot of milk." You know, and he said, there is yogurt in this bowl. Yes, the king say, but first you must, how is it in English? Yeah, you know what I mean.
Okay, of course.
Yeah. So this is a process to make the butter or the yogurt. You must do the process.
Of course.
And the kids say, so the same with God, there is a process, you know. There's a process to know God. It's not just something cheap that you can give so easily, you know. Especially when we speak concepts about prema, for example, like really high level. It's not something cheap, you know.
Of course.
So the king was so amazing with these answers. Like he praised the son and the prime minister for this reason.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a process, no? It's not something cheap. It's not something easy to understand.
Great. Yes, of course. When you think about it, there would be probably no justice if God could show like that, because there would be no justice in not having the choice to make. True.
Yeah.
And are you still a communist?
That's a hard question for me, because I mean, materially, maybe yes. I think yes, materially I am. I think everything should be distributed like that, actually. And but I think actually this is what I wanted to say. Being a communist, I think it doesn't make you a better person. You can maybe make a better society or try to do something better for society, but I think involving in Krishna consciousness can make you a better person. So that was the hard step to take. When I took that step, or was beginning to take that step, I think I tried to see the bad in me and try and to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. We interviewed sorry, Balaram Das from N4S, and he came to Krishna consciousness via anarchism, and he was listening to a lot of anarcho punk bands from the UK, like Crass and Subhumans. and it was really interesting to see that process. And of course, Prabhupada talks about communism as well, doesn't he? And God consciousness. Yes. So I could kind of see where you're coming from, and although communism in itself is technically atheistic, and Marx wasn't a great fan of it. Yeah,
of course.
There is a chapter in the book of Prabhupada, one of the Prabhupada books. It speaks about this concept of spiritual communism.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw.
I'm
it.
Not sure if you read it. Yeah. So you already know about it. It's like
yes, and I listened to him talk about that on many interviews, and it was a big thing for me to hear that because of my associating with it.
Yeah, but in the end, it's like it doesn't matter how many arrangements you want to make in this world. The end, they will be always suffering because everything is temporary, you know.
Of course.
And there is always this thing about between liberals or communists or anarchists and this and that, but it's when you see Krishna consciousness, it's like something so complete. So
of course, but I think motivation behind Krishna consciousness in communism can be good, but behind some things can't. That's just the similarity.
Yeah.
I like what you were saying about communism. Technically about making the world a better place.
Yes.
But Krishna consciousness is about making you
a better person.
A better person. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it was a big and maybe the hardest step since I was born.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
But this is a question. Thank you for asking.
But it was still in the process, no? Still in the process of.
Sorry, I didn't catch it.
Still, you are still in the process of.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Mike.
Shall I ask the next question? I was going to say, how was that process towards being? Are you initiated as a devotee?
No.
No, not yet.
And are you hoping to be? Is that something?
That's something that always changes in my mind, because at first I hoped to be, but then when I think about it, I think I should just work on myself and work on being conscious, and if that's something that I can take responsibility to, then I will do it. But I don't want to rush into anything and to be, you understand?
Yeah.
So
first, continue.
So I'm trying to be the best bhakt I can, and to make my home, my living, my friends and everything a place to learn about consciousness or to learn about love. But I think that step will come on its own when I'm ready, if I will be.
How you manage your spiritual life? I mean, you have there's a temple in your city or something like that?
We don't have a temple. We have a few places similar to temples, maybe. But we have programs. We have programs at some yoga studios. So I know a bhakt named Danudar from Belgrade, who was a big help for me from the beginning, because he's experienced bhakt, and we see each other a lot and play a lot. So when actually he was the first bhakt that I met here in Belgrade, because Murari sent me some invitation, or maybe, yes, I think it was an invitation for a program here in Belgrade. And there was kirtan, and I never been in kirtan live before. I only played at home. I even had a harmonium at time. I actually met some bhakts in Germany before, but I don't want to digress so much. But when I went to program, because I professionally do music, actually, I was sure that I could play with them. I was sure that in myself, so that I should ask them. So when it ended, I asked him, who was leading the kirtan, could I play as with him? Do they need harmonium or some other keyboard instrument or anything? And he was very welcoming. So since then, we always played together all the kirtans, and
Nice.
and everything. So it was a big help, and I met a lot of acts afterwards here in Belgrade. So I think I know most of the active ones.
Yeah. So there's like once the classical Sunday feast or something like that, or?
It's not that often,
Mm?
but I was actually surprised to see how evolved the Krishna consciousness community here in Belgrade is,
Yeah.
and in Serbia, and how underground it is. And every day I see new people and new kirtans, and actually I will be leading and performing some kirtan next week. So I'm in touch with everybody, and it feels so great that I can understand somebody from there, and that I can play with them, because as I said before, straight edge scene, there is actually no straight edge scene here in Serbia.
Right.
There are some straight edge people. There's one straight edge band, I think, which is half Serbian, but with Bakts it's different because there's a lot of them, and it's really a community.
Yeah. How's the reaction of the people? Because when you play live, because we saw some videos, and in the beginning you made you played harmonium, so people say something about it, like people get annoyed by that, or?
Yes, I mean, it became kind of a band sign for us, because nobody did that here in Serbia, at least in last 20 years, or maybe I don't know for how long. I never seen it here in Serbia. So it has its downside and its good side. I think it's good to get people interested in Krishna consciousness through music, because I think actually that everything is easier through music, and music is the best medium for subconsciously actually hearing something, some ideas, or it doesn't matter. But the downside is that I think a lot of people see it as eccentric and maybe esoteric, and that's not really the way I wanted it to be perceived, and that's not really the way that I wanted the band to go through that gate. But I try my best that our lyrics and our songs are more direct and more on the ground than flying above.
Yeah.
That's about
So
it.
could you tell us a little bit about the band then? There's you know, when was it formed? I think you I've got it here. The demo came out in June 2022. How long have you guys been together?
Yes, sorry, I forgot to answer that. You asked me in the beginning.
Oh,
So, so it was, I don't know if the demo was in 2022, yes, and I think we formed in 2021 maybe, but at the end of the year. So since I was a kid, I wanted to find a hardcore band, logically, but it wasn't possible. So I played a lot of things and a lot of projects, like some other music. But then I got in contact with the drummer, with the first drummer from Neven. So he was my colleague in music academy. He was a jazz drummer from university. And since I studied composition, we jammed on some session, and that was actually much later than I given up on making a hardcore band. So it couldn't be done, and I gave up. So I met him, and then he asked me about some other things that I did, and we started talking, and it just slipped from me, like, would you like to be in a hardcore band? And he said yes, but he didn't listen to much hardcore before. He listened only to some metallish hardcore bands, maybe Slipknot or Hard Faced or something. Sorry, Hatebreed. So then it was great, because my dream from childhood is finally maybe coming from the ground. And then we got in contact with the guitarist, which is the only a member of Neven that is still here with me. So the three of us and one friend who was playing. He was a friend who was playing bass. So I just had to make it as soon as possible. So this is it. This is lineup. We have to practice. This can't be done now when we made it. So we started practicing, and because we were most of our were good musicians, and he was a professional musician, our drummer, and me. So it kind of got good really fast, I think. I mean, good is not the word, but we didn't have to practice too much or finding our sound. We know right away what we are doing and how we want it to sound. So we a few months after a few months we made 8 or 7 8 or so of songs. So then we recorded our first demo, because we talked about should it be a better production or worse or anything, but at that time I just thought we have to put something out soon, because first priority is to play. So that's how Neven got out, and then I think it was got a big reach here in Serbia, and I was really happy to hear about it, because I didn't know if anybody would hear it, if anybody would listen to it. And I think some of the older colleagues helped us by sharing, and I mean, I didn't ask anybody, but they were I mean, that's just how the hardcore scene is here, and I think everywhere it's really doesn't matter how many people are there, but it's tight and everybody's together. So it got spread. The word got spread really fast. So we played soon after we made the demo.
Yeah, just what you say. I just wanted to mention that just 1 week ago, one friend from Hungary, he told me, "Hey, check out this band. It's a Krishnacore band from Serbia." A friend of mine sent it to me. I say, "Hey, yeah, I know them. We are about to make a podcast with them like next week."
Great! I
Wow.
can't believe it got there. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
Hungary is near Serbia, so maybe
Yeah. So maybe
great.
I hope one day we can play together.
That would be great.
Right. That would be great. Yeah.
Actually, yeah. And yesterday, I will maybe forget to mention this, so if I can mention it now, it's something really great happened. I mean, my friend from the organization from the other city in Serbia where we played, he organized a concert there. So there were some kids on the event that didn't listen to hardcore as much, or never heard about straight edge. So that was a few months ago, and he texted me yesterday to say to me that some kid from the show was heard for Krishna consciousness through our music, and he found out about Neven or Bhagavad Gita, and came yesterday on a concert with Dixes on his hands. So I think that these kind of little things are really great to hear, and to hear that it's not late, and the time of straight edge maybe didn't pass, and it can be revived at any time here or everywhere.
Yeah.
And are the other members of the band devotees?
Actually, the bassist of the band is from a devotee family, and that's actually a really interesting story. Is we had two basses before him, because everything was falling apart at the time. But I didn't know much about him, but I knew that he heard about Neven through his mother. His mother sent him Neven, because his mother is Bhaktina and she lives in India. So she sent him, and he started with his new band. His new band. He's here. They're also in Belgrade. They're called Mayak. They're a young hardcore band, which is playing a lot right now, as we do here in Belgrade. So then he was really excited to hear us, because he was from a devotee family, and he's not a devotee right now, but he has a lot of connections to Krishna consciousness, and he has been in much more ashrams and kirtans than me. So it's a really big help that he came, because we are playing kirtans together, and he's the friend that plays mridanga with me, and mridanga is his. So it was kind of a fate for that to happen.
Right.
And maybe a really weird way to reconnect him with Krishna consciousness after he's not Bhakt anymore and he lives with his brother.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, there are so many impressions there. There are so many impressions there. Yes, he was born in a devotee family, you know, and
yes,
that's great. Yeah.
so that's a really interesting thing. But the other two are not devotees.
Yeah, but they're
you know,
friendly anyway. It's like,
of course, they're friendly,
yeah.
they're good friends, and we get along. So I think especially for our drummer, maybe music is a much bigger thing for him. So he's there for music, and I'm there for music also, but for the lyrics too. And everybody finds something good within the project, and that's why we all work together.
Yeah, and that's what take us to the next question. Like, and how did you deal with the maybe some tensions that exist in the hardcore scene and the Krishna consciousness? Like, people has this mentality of keep your God out of hardcore music.
Yes.
This is our place. No religion is no welcome here. I don't know.
That's an interesting question too, because I thought that would be much worse than I thought, and I thought many more people would make a problem from that.
Yeah.
But actually, on the internet maybe not, but here live, and everybody that I know, they're very supportive of our band, no matter if they're anarchists or Bhakts, or it doesn't matter. But I think what the people liked was that we're young, and it's some new young energy, and it's positive energy. So really, there is a minority of people that came in our way about Krishna consciousness. So we actually didn't have any problems yet on our concerts, or and it's really weird. I thought it's going to be much worse when it started.
Yeah.
But there are really not big problems.
And maybe it's like everybody knows that Krishna consciousness has been like a really huge influence in the hardcore scene, especially in the Straight community, you know, like
and
since
maybe
the beginning. Since the beginning.
Yes. And I think the part of it is that it's the thing that I said on the beginning of the interview. I think the part of it is that I'm not really pushing the parts of it that gets in people's eyes. if you understand, it's a term in Serbian. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but
yeah. I was just going to go back to the demo. So who designed the cover, for instance? Who decided? Don't mean who painted the cover, because obviously it's an old image. But yeah, so who decided on the cover, and is there a story behind that, for instance?
Yes.
For Kumaras,
yes, for Kumaras. My guitarist is graphic designer, and the two of us really don't get along about the visuals of the band. I mean, not in terms of Krishna consciousness, but in terms of pure aesthetics, the fonts, the everything, posters. It doesn't matter, but we have very different tastes. I'm more into traditional stuff, traditional covers, or something more hardcore-ish, and he wants to experiment a bit more with some other things. So we tried a lot of things, and we talked about a lot of ideas. So at the end, the both of us got so tired. So I sent some paintings that I really like, that represent something great and something interesting, or they look beautiful. So at the end, everybody was just like, this one is okay, it looks good, we can do it. So there is not a big story behind it, but I sent some paintings, and that's just how it went.
Yeah, as you say, yes, it's the four Kumaras, isn't it?
It's four Kumaras, yes.
It's a shame that I kind of haven't got the image. I could have shared the screen just to show people what the image is. But it's really interesting because I kind of did this with Safe, the band Safe, and done
Yes,
with it.
I know the band.
And I was listening to some of their stuff. I had a track from Andre Prabhu on the album. I can't remember even what album it was, and I wrote to Dan with it and said, you know, why did you have this? What's the story behind it?
Sorry,
And
about
he said,
behind what? I didn't hear what was the thing behind what?
it's Andre. So you say, is that Andre Prabhu, the ISKCON devotee who was into the 24-hour kirtan.
Okay.
And it's him talking on this track, and he's actually quite critical of ISKCON. He's quite critical of organized religion. And I thought there was going to be a really long story behind it. And so I wrote to Dharma for it. I said, look, what? Come on. What, you know, is it? Why have you got this? And he said, a friend of his remixed the track, remixed the speech, put it over kind of a background. And he said, I really liked it. So we put it on the album. And I was just messaging him, just typing. And I was like, yes, but come on, what is it about? Because of this being critical of organized religion, etc. So come on, what's really the story? And he just kept on saying, well, I just really liked it. And there was no story to tell. And it's like this for you with the four Kumaras, that there isn't any. So you haven't been reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, and you were really kind of caught by this story of you know, Brahma and these, the four Kumaras. It was just an image that you really liked.
No, I knew about the four Kumaras and everything, and
Yeah.
what it represents. But I am for everybody else, it was just an image. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Could you take us through what would be really good if I was just thinking about perhaps the song Vanity. Do you write the lyrics as well as
Yes.
could you take us through, say, Vanity? I really like what you said, that the battle is within me. I seek the driver of my chariot.
Do I have them translated in English? I forgot I did that.
No. This is Google Translate.
Oh.
I just copied the lyrics from Bandcamp and then put them into.
Really good.
I didn't know about it.
Just put it into Google Translate and that's it. So
that's actually my favorite verse from Neven. Exactly that part. So it's a bit how would I say that? It goes two ways. I mean, it means the battle within me. So could you repeat the lyric? Could you repeat the translation?
The battle is within me. I seek the driver of my chariot.
Yes. So it's of course about finding Krishna in me, and it's of course a reference to Kurukshetra. But also it's about getting through the sins that I make, and getting through the anger that I have sometimes, or problems that I feel. And the song is about, how is it actually, the name of the song, how is it translated to English? I don't know how it's pronounced.
Vanity.
Yes, it's about vanity. So getting lost in it, and finding the chariot to move me through it, through the sea of that.
And so, as you say, then the kind of it's really your devotion, and those lyrics are informed specifically by your devotion to Krishna.
Yes.
It's hard. I say, I know I can do better, but something is holding me back. It's hard to say no to yourself, ego won't let me settle down and stop, because if I can't connect, and I will, I know it's hard, but it's true. Nothing remains but to break the boundaries and free myself from vanity. It's great.
I'm really impressed how great it's translated. It's a
Good.
really accurate translation, I think.
And then it goes on to leave it to love, get out of the body, and I connect truly.
Actually, it's not to leave it to love. It's to give myself to love. That would be maybe a better translation.
Yeah.
I'm going to change that.
I should translate these lyrics definitely and put them on internet.
That's a great idea.
So it's similar to, do you know the song Resentment of Shelter?
Yeah.
It's maybe one of my favorite lyrics and most inspiring lyrics, and in terms that I really saw myself in them. And sometimes I do have problems with vanity, and I have problems with anger, and I have problems with not wanting to admit my wrongdoings. And I think it's about that, and it's made to remind me to get over with, and that I can get over with, and what is the point. And I think it's maybe weird, but when I listen to my songs, sometimes when I don't listen to them for some time, I actually get inspired by reminding myself that in which way I can go through my battles, and how should I how can I evolve actually when I forget.
Because I really like it. After the song Vanity, there's Little Things.
Yes.
And this is great because yeah, it's not there's within Vanity, for instance, the last line reads, "My spirit is only embodied Govinda."
Yes.
And in the song before that, I Am Not Alone, you say, I love people, I love animals, I love trees, I love Paramatma, don't you? Can I do more than that? That's how it's true. But Little Things is great because you don't kind of there's nothing. Actually, the one who can, there is he free, the one who can, or one who will not, everything that his ear tells him. It's not overtly about Krishna in a sense. You wouldn't think it. And it's such little things don't make me happy. What happiness is, I guess, seems forever. I want to strive for something bigger. I'm not going to let the line of least resistance talk to me.
Yes. I mean, it's the interesting thing about the lyrics, I think maybe, is that it's a bit backwards, because I often hear spiritualists and not only Krishna consciousness, but generally more spiritual people talking about little things that can make you happy, like getting a scent of a flower, or I don't know, holding hands with somebody. But I think it's made a bit backwards in that way that yeah, it's self-explanatory, but that's only the thing that I wanted to mention.
I'm glad that Google has done quite a good job in translating
yes,
the lyrics.
I can't believe it when I'm listening. It's really weird.
Google Translate ki jai.
Yes, ki So yeah.
Yeah, it's a great, the demo is absolutely fantastic. Are you going to are you looking
Thank you very much.
to publish anything else, to get anything else out, another EP perhaps, or
are you planning some tour? Come to Prague?
Go to Prague, yeah.
Well, about publishing, we are preparing an EP now, which will actually sorry, new 3 songs, actually one new song, and we re-recorded Nisam Sam and Male Stvari. We re-recorded it for the EP so that they got out of demo so that we can make them sound better and better produced. So the 3 of those songs we are publishing in 2 weeks in one CD, which is a compilation of young hardcore bands here from Belgrade.
Wow.
They're really different bands. Some are not in hardcore, maybe more metal, but the scene in Belgrade in last 2 years grew a lot with the kids. I don't know how it happened and why, but it really blew, and the concerts are full and everything. And that is going to be out now, and then we will that's 3 songs and 3 other new songs we are going to publish as an EP after that, when we finish all mixing and recording and everything. And we will try maybe to do some physical copies. I don't know if that will be possible, and if vinyls could be possible, or maybe CDs are more affordable. If anybody would like to any, it doesn't matter. So that are plans for now. And we made a music video last week, which is for our new song. The song is called Stay Positive. It's really catchy and straightforward, maybe most of all of our songs. So that's going to be out in 2 weeks from now on. That I will send you that. And about touring, we made the pause for these 2 months, so March and April. So then we will